Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Stories of Wellness with Glam Guts Grace Healthy Living team. We are doing these every Thursday at 8:30. We like to bring you a story of wellness that has happened through the transformation of using supplementation with Plexus products and healthy lifestyles. And also, we want you to have a time to just have Q&A, to invite friends to these, and just be able to get the most out of your experience. So with that, I would like to introduce Christy McDade, and she has an amazing story. So I'm going to let her start with her testimony. And if you have questions during this, just put them in the chat. I'll be watching them and we'll answer those when she's finished. Okay, so welcome, Christy, and you may take over.
Okay, thanks, Marla. I just love sharing my testimony, and thanks for inviting me tonight. It's been a while since I've shared it, but every time you share it, you kind of relive and go back, because as time goes on, you kind of forget where you were. So, I've been on Plexus now for 7 years. So just going back and reminding myself like how far I've come is good to do that. So anyhow, about 12 years ago, I started to get these migraines, and I had never really even had headaches before, but I started getting these debilitating migraines. And I went to a neurologist, and he's basically said, you're just going to have to live with it. He had gotten migraines too. And he's like, I just live with it. You should live with it. And so, that's what I thought I was going to do for the rest of my life. And it got so bad that one time I had a 9-day migraine. I ended up in the emergency room. And that's kind of when I was diagnosed with the other issues that I had at the time, which was diabetes and high blood pressure. So it's kind of accumulation of all of those things just becoming unhealthy. But because I had the migraines, I became less active because, I was really trying to avoid having a migraine. And walking would give me a migraine. The sun would give me a migraine. So the more inactive you are, the more you gain weight. And so I had gained 100 pounds over, just a couple of years. I gained a lot of weight pretty quickly. And so when I saw my friend posting about Plexus, I thought it was all about weight loss. And I'm like, yes, I can lose some weight. So I started with the Triplex, and within like 3 weeks, I didn't have a migraine yet. And it was that time of the month that I would definitely have one. And I did not. And I'm like, well, this is weird. I had no idea that Plexus would help with anything other than weight. I had no idea about gut health or anything like that at the time. So when I didn't get migraines, I started asking around, and that was pretty normal that people's migraines went away. And so I thought, well, I'm here for life now. And, over time, I lost weight and I got healthier, and I started to be more active. And, I will get now maybe one migraine a year. I can't even go a couple years without having a migraine. And they were ready to put Botox in, and like, I was just out with those. So I always say, if that's the only thing that Plexus did for me, I would be happy. But, I have lost weight. I have so much more energy. My husband often says that he got his wife back. And I always say, I think you got a better wife. I think, this is even better than it ever was. And I do feel better than I did in my 20s even. And then, fast forward, when COVID hit, at the same time, I was trying to diagnose these kind of spots that I had all over my body. I just have these like red spots all over my body, and nobody's ever been able to diagnose them. And like years and years of biopsies and trying to figure it out, nobody could ever determine. Well, finally, I went to do one more test, and they referred me to an allergist, and it ended up that I have a blood disorder called systemic mastocytosis, and it's very rare. That's why it was so hard to diagnose. So I'm sure none of you have heard of it. But when I was diagnosed, I had to have a bone marrow biopsy to determine it's kind of a genetic thing. But since then I've learned a lot about it and joined the Facebook group. And a lot of those people that have what I have are completely debilitated because it attacks your gut. It makes you basically allergic to anything, even weather. You can be allergic. You can have an allergic reaction to anything because your mast cells that are responsible for allergic reactions, I make too many of them and they're overactive. So they tend to attack the joints, attack the gut. And so a lot of people can't eat anything but just a couple foods that they can eat without causing problems. So when I look back and I think, this has been at the time, it had been 5 years of being on Plexus and gut health and focusing on my gut, I realized that, God really knew what he was doing when he brought me Plexus, because I am not where these people are. I'm, healthier than I have been before. And, the only treatment for this really is chemotherapy. And I'm so thankful that I think I will avoid that for the rest of my life, I hope, and just keep focusing on my gut with Plexus and natural supplements. And I mean, that's amazing. And I have also gotten off 8 medications that I was on before too. I forgot to mention that. So yeah.
Okay, so I'm just going to mute everybody. Hold on. But Christy, you can unmute yourself, okay? So after you started on the triplex, you did you add anything more?
Oh, well, since then I have a hard time deciding what to not take. Anytime something new comes out, I'm just like, oh, I love that. But ease is just one of my favorites. I can't live without ease because, this disease does cause pain to, fibromyalgia and all that stuff. So if I have to take ease, and sometimes you run out because I take 3 in the morning and 3 at night. So I take a lot of ease. So it runs out really quickly. And if I run out, I mean, I can really tell. It's just a night and day difference. So that's one I just can't live without is ease. But I take the X Factor and Mega X and Active, of course. And yeah, pretty much everything I take it.
Well, isn't that interesting that you started out like me? I didn't know what gut health really was, and I wanted to lose 10 pounds, and little did I know it was everything else that disappeared. This is the reason I'm here, right? So what a blessing that, you started. Just imagine if you hadn't, where you'd be, 8 medications.
Yeah. I think about that too, like the compound effect. So, like I got better and better and better. But if I hadn't, like I started here, which was low, right? And I got better and better and better. But let's say I never started, I would have gotten worse and worse and worse. So the difference between where I would have been and where I am is a huge difference. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So I often think about that.
I think of that too, because it's a progressive, you start the supplementation, it's a piece of the puzzle, but because we eat over processed foods, the antibiotics we're on, our gut bacteria gets overtaken and candida is, thriving, and our products just get to the root cause of blood sugar balance, the gut health, and the inflammation. And I think like sugar used to call my name. I don't know if you were that way, but I used to be addicted to that really bad. And with the triplex alone, right away, I could walk by it. And that, little did I know that was feeding a lot of what my problem was. But with you, were you coached well at the beginning? Did somebody, tell you to take it every day and help you with that?
Ever since now, when I get people started, we start off slow on the triplex, but at the time, no, nobody said anything about that. So, I just started full force. And then since then, shortly after that, I learned to even up my ProBio even more. But yeah, I just started with the 2, whatever was on the bottle, that's what I did. So, but since then, we know how to coach people better now. So yeah.
Right. And that's how I started too, because that's just all we knew. So do you stay at 3 to 4? Just curious, ProBio 5 a night?
Yeah, I do still take 4 or sometimes 5 a night, depending if I'm, starting to feel under the weather, I'll take more. Yeah.
Yeah. And our Probio 5 is not like a regular probiotic. If you're new on here, you maybe don't realize that. A lot of people think, their refrigerated $100 probiotic is better than our Probio 5, but ours actually has digestive enzymes and antifungal that help break down the outer shell of the candida, which you won't find that anywhere else. And because it's freeze dried, it gets through that, our stomach lining, and the warm temperatures, because once you put refrigerated probiotics, the strains get in that our warm environment. Half of them don't even get to your gut. So our Probio 5 is a true game changer. And actually all the products, I always warn people when they want to try a new product, it's like, well, just so you know, you're probably going to love it. Right?
Absolutely. Yes. And when you have a whole household taking it, my son, he's 20, almost 20. He takes all the things, and my husband takes all the things, and my husband cannot live without Active. I mean, Active is his, like, what's the opposite of kryptonite? It's his, whatever gives him powers. So yeah. So when we're all using all the things, it's like, is there anything we can eliminate? And it's always no, there's nothing.
That's the blessing of having the referral link and the program we do, where no one should have to pay for the products. If we should have a friend, a sister, a cousin, a best friend, you don't have to go to the social media and share. It can just be, authentic through one another. So I'm just checking.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think I haven't paid for my products since the second month of,
of sharing.
Joining. Yeah. Since I started sharing right away, since you have to scream this from the rooftops, when you.
Well, yeah. Did you plan on sharing it, or did it kind of happen just automatic, like because you felt great?
Yeah, it was just because I felt great, and I was just telling people about it. I didn't have any idea how much I could make or anything like that. I didn't even know how. I'm just like, you have to try this, Yeah.
I know. Okay, so there are some. That's what happened with me. I shared with a couple people just incidentally, and one of them asked for my link, and I said, I don't think I have a link. She said, yes, you do, because she had sold Scentsy, and she's like, you have a link. I'm like, I do. And she signed up. I sent her, she told me where to find it. And then I don't know who else was, the second one was someone I taught with. But then when I went on social media, that did open a whole, a lot of people are looking for something, and everybody wants energy. Everybody wants to feel good. I had migraines too. Migraines are awful. Okay, so what is Mega X? Mega X is our plant-based omega. It has omegas 3, 6, 9, and 7. 3, 6, 9, 5, and 7. So there's no mercury in it. It comes from the ahi flower. People love it because it's small. I'm seeing if there's any questions for you, Christy, and then I want to honor your time so you can hop off. Okay, I can answer that question. Okay, no questions for Christy, guys. If you have any, please put them in here now. They said, Christy, what a great testimony. Yes.
Thank you. Yeah.
And for your husband, to see your transformation, it must almost bring tears to his eyes, right?
Yeah, I actually forgot to mention this part, but he had done a 90-day prayer for my health at that time. And, he always says like on day 80 something is when I found Plexus. So it was like beyond an answer to prayer. Like it literally was an answer to prayer. Yeah.
I believe there's a connection there too. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Someone was asking, what meds did you stop taking? Are you comfortable sharing that?
Yeah, well, I was on antidepressant, high blood pressure medication, anxiety. I'm trying to remember everything I was on. Migraine medication that I took every day to prevent the migraine. And then I had shots to give myself when I would start to get a migraine. And those hurt so bad. Have you ever tried a shot, your self shot? Like, can they just give me a needle? No, it's like a pressure. It just sticks it in there with pressure, but the pressure will give you like a huge bruise. It hurts so bad, those shots. Anyhow, so yeah, so migraine medication.
Probably a pain medication.
Well, ibuprofen, I lived off of ibuprofen, and and Tylenol too. So yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I never had to give shots. I was on Max Salt was the highest that I was on. You were ever on Max Salt?
No, I was on Topiramate or Topamax.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mine were only like every 3-4 months, but I had headaches almost every day. I'd pop ibuprofen every day. It was just an automatic, like
Oh,
2 in the
yeah.
morning, 2 at night, sometimes in the afternoon, and Diet Coke.
Yeah.
I craved Diet Coke. I craved crap. It was like and I was a fitness instructor, but I was a mess. And I think back and go, oh my gosh, I wish I would have felt good back then. Like if I could have a do-over, wouldn't that be nice to have a do-over taking Plexus?
Oh, yes, that would be amazing. Gosh, yeah. And then one other one was the high cholesterol. I was on medication for that too. I was just there trying to think of what else I was
Oh
on.
my gosh. So how long
Yeah.
did it take? Someone asked, how long did it take for
Well,
migraine?
and diabetes medication. Duh, I was on.
Your blood sugar. Yes,
Yeah.
talk to that.
Yeah. So I noticed after doing some research, realizing that Slim was actually made for diabetics and it helps balance out your blood sugar, because after a few months, my blood sugar was going too low. And I was like, what, I was starting to get low blood sugar. So I was like, what's happening? So I went to the doctor and they're like, yeah, your blood sugars are good. You should go down on your medication, because I was on metformin. And actually at the time before I started Plexus, they were ready to put me on insulin, because the medication, they kept going up and up and up. They couldn't go up anymore. And they said, insulin would really help you because you're kind of beyond what we can do with the pills. So this was right before I started Plexus too. And so then when my blood sugar was so low, I was like, well, this is what's going on. And so I went and they said, go down your medication. And then it was less than 6 months I was off my medication, because my blood sugars were just balanced. Yeah.
And then the rest of your medications were kind of gradual that you went off of them, cholesterol, high blood pressure.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah, well, when I started to lose weight, then of course my blood pressure got better. And so I got off that one. And, when you're overweight and you have migraines, you get depressed, so I was feeling better. So then I got off my antidepressants and definitely want to talk to your doctor about that one. But I have never felt better. So, yeah. And of course you think you're going to be on these medications for the rest of your life, with diabetes and with depression. I just thought I would be on antidepressants for the rest of my life, because every time I go off, it would just not be good. But I've been off that for 6-7 years now. Yeah.
Are you taking the Vital Biome?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I take 2 in the morning. Yeah.
So Vital Biome is our probiotic that helps with anxiety, depression, and also GI distress, but it is a game changer. And highly recommend you talking to your sponsor and then your doctor also, like she said, about transitioning into trying that, if that's something, you want to get off of some medications. So.
Yeah. And Vital Biome, see, this is like, you can't just talk about one thing. The Vital Biome, if I ever run out of that, like before I've run out, and then a few weeks later, I guess I just didn't notice I was out, and I'm like, why am I so irritated? My husband will be like, what is going on with you? And I'm like, I'm out of Vital Biome, So after a couple of times of that, I'm like, okay, we can't run out of that one. Yeah. I've
noticed that too with sadness, if I've run out, or decision fatigue. I just can't make a decision, like that anxiety sets in. So don't run out of it very often either anymore. And I do take 2 most days. I just feel like I do better with 2.
Yeah.
So, okay. Well, this has been amazing. I know, do you take Pro5 and Vital Biome? I'm assuming she does, right?
Yeah, but just make sure you spread them out. You take Vital Biome in the morning and Pro5 at night. Yeah.
And so when you add in different products, it's really important to be coached with your sponsor or somebody that is knowledgeable in it, because it isn't a one formula fits all. We kind of have to go with what your lifestyle is. And most people, I would say 90% take Vital Biome in the morning and Pro5 at night. I have a few that have switched it because they feel it's better, but majority Pro5 at night, because on an empty stomach, you want it to break down the candida and those enzymes to work while you sleep. And let's speak to detox just a second too. There is a chance of detox when you do get on these products, because you're getting rid of the bad gut bacteria, which is the toxins that are creating havoc in your body. So as that's releasing, you can have what's called Herxheimer reactions. So that's another reason we want you to stay in touch with your ambassador, because that will go away. That you detox, it's not going to be forever. It's just a short term. Did you have any detox, Christy?
Yeah, I did. Some headaches and just tired, and I was like, what's going on? But I got through it pretty quickly, pretty easily. So, compared to some.
Okay, good. So I hope everyone's taken away a few nuggets from this information. I wanted to speak a little bit to how gut health is related to weight loss. So Christy, you can stay on or you can leave. I know you're very busy. So thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, it's still kind of early here, so it's dinner time, so I'm gonna go make some husband some dinner. But
Yes.
thank you for having me, and have a good one.
Yes, thank you so much. You're a blessing.
Okay, bye.
Bye, Christy. Okay, so speaking to gut health and weight loss, now Christy joined for weight loss. So I joined for weight loss because I thought it was just a weight loss products, right? And you can lose weight with our products. Our gut health system gets to the root cause of why we feel awful, why we have poor energy. And when our gut bacteria is off balance, we crave the bad foods, we crave the sugar, because Candida actually thrives on that. So once we get rid of that and get our body balanced, we have energy, we have less aches, we start not craving awful food, and you move your body more. All those factors weigh in on, what you do and weight loss. So that they're so directly intertwined, but it does take time, and it does take consistency, and it does take just educating yourself and you being all in. Like if you're halfway in, you're going to get half the results or none. And that's where Plexus has so many wonderful tools like our Pivotal. If you're not taking advantage of our Pivotal, do so tonight after this call. Log in, go to Experience Plexus, go to Pivotal, register for the workouts, and start doing them 3 times a week, just 3 times a week. They're circuit-based, they're 20 minutes a day. You can modify them. If you do them the 12-week duration, when you register, you're on a 12-week program of working out. Plexus gives you points back to use for products for free. So they pay us back for working out. I mean, that's amazing. There's also recipes in there. A lot of people, the American diet, with processed foods, we don't recommend that. We recommend whole foods, and Plexus really wants us to use like a Mediterranean type style diet or food choices. And if you're not familiar with that, Pinterest has a lot on that. But yet other programs work well with our supplements. Our supplementation goes well with pretty much everything. But one thing you want to be careful of is not giving yourself enough of all the foods. Like the keto is really big, the intermittent fasting, and that's good for short, not long-term and everyday, but because there's long-term effects, especially depending on your menopause, where you're at in that stage of your life also. And if you work out really heavily, that's another factor. So like I said, Plexus is a tool, and we love that, you guys are trusting your friend and you're joined our amazing community in our healthy living in our Facebook group. And we just love doing these calls because I think we all learn by everybody's story, and everybody has a different health journey, right? And different struggles. So that's where just being open to coaching and adjusting and tweaking is going to really help you have better results. So with that, I think we wanted to keep it to 30 minutes. I went a little bit over. What time of day is it best for BioCleanse? I take mine with the Probio 5 at bedtime. Okay, so BioCleanse is a magnesium supplement that you want to use either morning or night, or actually it's any time of day. It's when it fits in best for you, but you want to take it before your Probio 5. Like I always say, if you're taking the BioCleanse, take it like before you brush your teeth. brush your teeth, take your makeup off, all that stuff, then take the probio5. So you don't want to take them both at once, because the BioCleanse will clean out your digestive tract, and the probio5, we want to stay in there. We don't want that cleaned out. So you don't want the BioCleanse on top of it. Okay. So maybe you want to take your BioCleanse in the morning instead, so that it's separate. And BioCleanse is one that also can be very gray as far as how many you need. When I started, I was not regular, so I needed more BioCleanse. Somebody that is the opposite, maybe they have colitis or something, they might not need any BioCleanse. We have a chart that you should have been given that has an asterisk by everything with BioCleanse and ProBio, because it says this can be different for each person depending on how regular you are. So that's where we like to coach you to take the products that fit into your lifestyle best. You shouldn't have to fit the products. The product shouldn't have to, fit into what we tell you. So I hope that answered your question. Who was it that asked? I don't know. Yeah, so if you take it at bedtime, I take mine at bedtime, but just take the BioCleanse before, like BioCleanse B comes before P for ProBio5. So take B before you brush your teeth, take your makeup off, all that stuff, get your clothes, jammies on, then take your ProBio5 after. And you want to get into that progressive schedule. So you start with 1, then you gradually work up to 4 ProBio5. That's called loading dose. And then we go into maintenance dosing. So if that hasn't been done with you, which happens sometimes if people haven't been, put in a 3-way chat to get coached and they don't know, and they didn't start off well, we really love to help you with that. So even message me and I can help you get connected with somebody, closest to you, or I can help you with, what your regimen should look like. So I hope that answers your question. And another thing I wanted to mention, she got off her depression medication. When we have excess candida in our body, when our gut bacteria is off balance, we have too much of the bad, it zaps our magnesium. And if we have low magnesium, our body can't make our serotonin, and our serotonin is makes our, part of the process of making our melatonin. So, anxiety and no sleeping go together. And so naturally your body starts creating it, just like the blood, the pink drink bounces blood glucose. So like Christy said, all of a sudden her blood sugars were too low. When your blood sugars are balanced, your master hormones are balanced too. And also you have less inflammation. So many magical things happen. And that's why our triplex combo is magical. We do have the weight loss products of the Reset 3-day nutritional fast, and people are losing 5 pounds on the average. So that is also available if you're interested in that. It is, what you do after, whether you're going to maintain it. So that's another option. And we have a weight loss advanced pack for starters, for people that are brand new, for a welcome pack with a reset on there. And the weight loss advanced has the triplex in it, plus the lean shakes, the active, the MetaBurn as well. When should you take the pink drink? Well, that's a golden question too. So when I started 8 years ago, I drank it in the morning right away, just because I taught fitness. I wanted to drink it right away, get it done. Now I take it about 11 o'clock before lunch, because that's just when I like it now. So really, my mom, she's type 2 diabetic. She takes it at night before bed, so she doesn't have any blood sugar crashes and doesn't snack as much. So really it is when you feel your most, like if your weight loss is your goal, take it before you have your emotional eating or your most temptation. So you're not going to be tempted to eat more. Okay. If you're on the microbiome and you're doing it for autoimmune and not for the weight loss, take it in the morning is best. Okay. Does that all make sense? It does say on the package for our pink drinks to take 30 minutes before your meal. So, if weight loss is your goal, that is, what you can do also. But it really is, like if you snack a lot after supper, there's no problem taking it like around 7:30. So you're not going to be snacking, because it won't keep you up at night. But if you have your biggest meal at noon, you might want to take it 30 minutes before your noon meal or 30 minutes before your evening meal. When you're maybe home from work and you're hangry, mixing it up then would probably be good. So it kind of depends on you and what works best for you. Okay, good question, Tammy. How do you know if you should do hunger control or microbiome? Hunger control, I feel, is a good one to start for everybody, regardless if you have weight loss as your goal or not, because you have less detox. The microbiome activating has specific prebiotics in there that feed your good gut bacteria up to 300 more times. So you can have more aggressive detox. So I just started someone the other day on weight loss is not her goal, but we started her on the hunger control, and on month 2, as long as she's doing well and not detoxing much, and we get to that high dosing of Probio 5, then we're going to transition her into the microbiome. It doesn't mean you did it wrong if you started the other way, but that's what I find is best practice in the 8 years that I've been doing this. Okay, and I love my pink drink, either one. I do hunger control and microbiome both, just because I love them both. And I mix the active with mine and the collagen as well. So we do have skincare as well. I don't know if you guys are aware of that, and kids probiotics. So talk to your sponsor about, learning more, but just hop on. Andrea is hosting the call next Thursday, and then we have our exclusive call the first Monday of each month for just those VIPs that have their 100 PV for the month. And we have the $100 drawing. And that's always that'll be May 1st. And that's where we're going to feature Kelly Hollister, pharmacist, to ask. She'll answer more questions. So when you get those texts, that's what it's for. It's for our Thursday calls, and also our community call is going to be on Monday, the first Monday of every month. So thanks for joining. If there's no further questions. Okay, I hope that all helped you guys, and have a great evening. Thanks for joining. You're all beautiful people. Thanks for helping us make this such a great community. Good night.